Hello, thanks for checking out this video. So it's been announced that the state of Kerala in India, which is run by a Marxist government, has succeeded in their agenda of wiping out extreme poverty in Kerala, which is pretty impressive. They don't have any homelessness there now, and they're doing really well, especially relative to the other states in India. And if you look at states in northern India, which are very different and definitely not inspired by Marxism or being run by a Marxist government, they're not doing like Kerala is doing. And at the same time, this week it seems we're all bracing because on Saturday the Trump administration is set to cut off SNAP benefits, which are basically food support for over 40 million Americans, which is basically a super cruel war on the poor. And a lot of those people that are going to suffer are children. But basically, it's a conscious decision to starve a segment of the American population, probably to make them desperate, so that they have to start getting violent or stealing food, so that they can be, arrested and put in jail for being criminals. And then, in the long run, those criminals can be used as slave labor. It's a complete illusion, by the way, that America doesn't have slavery. It's just a more sophisticated way of marketing different things. And you can definitely abuse prisoners in the American system and turn them into, force them to work. So there's a lot of ways you can get slaves in America today. And I think that's what's probably driving most of the agenda to cut off all these SNAP benefits, besides just, Trump and his buddies enriching themselves in other ways. But I think it's so interesting to think that these people in Kerala have gotten their shit together. They just had there's a new bullet train that got announced, and it's looks more impressive than anything here in Toronto, which is like Canada's most developed city. So this idea that other countries don't have really developed stuff relative to us is definitely a myth. And it's even crazier when you go to China. I'm seeing what they have is scaring the shit out of American capitalists, and as it should, because they realize how far they've fallen behind in AI relative to manufacturing, because now China's got this ultra advanced stuff and bullet trains and everything, as well as factories that are just run by AI, basically manufacturing cars with almost no human beings involved. So these other cultures and countries that, if you want to look at it that way, relative to America, are definitely outpacing America. And America seems to be just experiencing some kind of economic apocalypse. All these red states that were, farming states that had these millionaire farmers that have these private farms that all voted for Trump because he was good to them in the first term, are now shocked that he's completely fucked them the second time around, with the soybean issue. And China just made a deal with Brazil, and now that's 1/3 of the rural America's major crop just gone. These things are serious, right? I think people are starting to realize how bad it is. I hope, anyway. And my whole point is this: America is not a civilized country. It's a disgusting country overall, and it's embarrassing. And not to say that India doesn't have tons of its own problems. To me, there's trade-offs between everything. The more I've gotten to know about Indian culture and Kerala and stuff, the way I just see everything as being trade-offs as far as the human condition goes. I like Canada more because there's a lot more social freedom. It's more socially conservative in India, because of the religious influence, even though in Kerala they have the Marxist thing going on, which is really interesting. So there's a lot of more individuality I can have here in Canada, but at the same time, I'm also completely fucked in this country, this state capitalism system, and it's just turning into feudalism. And so everything is just trade-offs, but there are definitely things that Kerala is doing right, and it's really impressive. And America just seems like a cruel, disgusting late-stage capitalism shithole at this point, and it's embarrassing. And I talked to a lot of white guys who are always right-wingers. I've met them over the years of doing this channel and stuff, right? And they have this idea that Marxism has never worked anywhere in the world, and it never works. And I think it's sad when people are so propagandized and so uneducated they have no idea what's been going on, so they can't really figure out the flaws in our system, for example. It's sad. So I wish people more people were aware of Kerala, for example, and people say, you know, well, Marxism isn't compatible with religion, but it seems to be working completely fine in Kerala. And I think that when people bring up like, you know, Marxist-Leninism and the Russian Revolution and history in Russia and stuff, it's sort of almost a critique really more about white people than against communism. Like maybe, I've said this many times before, but maybe there's an issue with European culture why socialism just doesn't work because of the inherent status-driven competition and violence, whereas other groups of people who are more inherently peaceful and more intelligent it can be socialists, you know, like there's something worth thinking about there. So anyway, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this stuff because it's interesting. And yeah, again, like as Kerala is, you know, rising and making things better for their people, our culture is going down the toilet at record speed, and we're about to see things accelerate, especially in America, when starving people get desperate and turn into criminals, and then those criminals are apprehended and turned into slaves as part of this system. Also worth considering, you know, the fact that if you know, when a state or a country is not concerned with upholding a global empire through military hegemony and doesn't have to keep like constantly being involved in everyone else's business and giving money to Israel and all this other crap, they can really focus on themselves and really build something good for their own people. You know, this Americanism and you know, state capitalism and stuff is, I don't think it's working out well for the average white person. So white conservatives should definitely think about that. Anyway, thanks for checking out this video, guys. See you in the next one.